Hi there, and welcome back to the Lisa Nichols Show, where together we discover tools to really step to our best version of ourselves. We develop and uncover tools to really, shed old conversations and invite in new possibility. So, I love the very first thing I do is I read your comments, but I can only do it if you continue to comment. So keep talking to me. From the episode, How to Achieve Prosperity in Your Life, so many comments have come in about this particular episode. Mikal, you said, quote unquote, Lisa, my aha moment was you saying that you know what you're doing in Q2 of next year, right? You said, quote unquote, I sometimes set a goal and keep pushing it back, but no more. You then went on to say, I have everything within me to achieve all my goals. Thank you, end quote. Oh, Mikal, I love that. I love how when you understand the level of certainty and the level of commitment to implementation. The only reason why we keep pushing goals back is because one or two reasons. We're either not in enough action and we haven't broken our action steps down to clear deliverables on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis, or the original date that we set to achieve that goal by was unrealistic in the first place. That happens a lot. So remember, when you're setting a goal, the goal should stretch you, not stress you. And also remember that a goal without milestones and without clear deliverable action steps is not a goal, it's just wishful thinking. This comment came in from Positive Beauty 528, and you said, quote unquote, my breakthrough was I forgive my past and keep moving. You went on to say, I determined right away in the moment that I will only accept my new beginnings and everything and everyone that lines up with that. You went on to say again, quote, if it does not match my new beginnings, I move forward and away from what doesn't work. I am okay with it and I feel amazing. Life is great. 3 exclamation points. I am my greatest power. Peace and love, Lisa, end quote. Oh, I love your comments. I mean, this really shows me that when you're looking at how am I holding myself hostage to my past, or how am I holding myself in love, grace, and peace to my future? That's really exciting. I have to say that your comments, they're like the layer. They're that magic sauce that makes this dynamic so amazing and so delicious. So keep your comments coming. I can't wait. Even though I comment back on only 2, we read hundreds of them. So I'm enjoying so many of your comments. Keep them coming. I have so many artists, and when I say the word artists are anywhere from clothing designers to writers to speakers to spoken word artists to singers, to people who create content, to people like artists is on so many different levels, and there's so much marketing. Marketing is artistry. Sales is artistry. Being a CEO is artistry. There's so many things that require your creativity. Being a parent requires creativity. Being a spouse, being a significant other to someone that remains engaging requires creativity. Finding ways to keep your faith strong and consistent requires creativity. Learning how to be a friend to your child requires creativity. Learning ways to be with your parents, especially if they're aging, requires creativity. So creative is not just in the traditional sense that we learned. What I know about creativity is that it requires you to give yourself what you need. First of all, I got to tell you, this has been a BOL for me, a breakthrough out loud over the years. I didn't realize that my creativity in my relationships, in my work, and my contribution in my personal time as a mother, as a friend, I didn't realize that it was directly connected to the amount of rest that I got. I used to really think that there was a real S on my chest and that it stayed on and that the cape was bound to my neck. When I realized that the S on my chest is Crayola. And the cape around my neck does have Velcro on it. And I get to wash the Crayola off at night. And I get to take the cape off. Matter of fact, I must. So if you want to access your creativity, I ask you, are you being good to yourself when it comes to having enough rest? The second lesson that I learned was that I had my projects bumping up too close to one another. There was no time to properly complete one project. I would complete it because I'm always the girl that's going to get the ball across the finish line. I'm going to get that ball all the way up the court. But I would run into another court immediately after. And there needs to be a respite. There's always another project. And you're always going to be picked for it because you're bad. You know. You are tough. You're amazing. You're a gladiator. People are going to choose you. That's why you're here on this channel. That's why you're working on yourself. So don't be so surprised when people always choose you. What you have to do is push a little bit between what you just stopped and what you're about to start and have a little respite. Now that little respite can look like a day or a weekend or a week, but have time so that you're going into your next best adventure being the best version of yourself. And I know I would say I couldn't for so many years. I said, I can't afford to do that. Well, listen, let's be clear. You are the author of your autobiography. You are the designer of your destiny. You are writing this story. So if there's no rest in your life, it's because you've trained people. This might hurt a little bit, so I know if you might say, ouch, just don't press pause and don't leave me. You've trained people how to treat you. You've trained people that you don't need time to rest. You've trained people that you don't need a time out here and there. You've even trained people on some occasions, this may or may not be you, that you don't even need to hear thank you. Here's the loving thing that I really adore about training. People can be retrained, including you and I. On my recent respite of 5 weeks, like I hadn't rested for 5 weeks in years. I realized, what was I doing? Here I was running myself in the ground as if there's some martyr award for sacrificial life. You sacrificed all your joy and your energy and you work yourself to the grind to an early grave for the sake of the people, motivating the masses. Well, the reality is I like to be one of the masses. I like to be around. And sometimes the best, most responsible thing that you can do for you and everyone around you is simply rest. There are 100 other things that can unlock your creativity. But we're just going to focus on one right now. Because if you're anything like me, if you're a gladiator like me, if you're a game changer like me, if you are a change agent like me, then the word R-E-S-T, you have to bite off in small, digestible, palatable pieces. And you have to even understand, what does that look like? And so I'm going to start with that. I'm going to start with, if you want to access more creativity, you want to access more joy, you want to access more gratitude, you want to access more of your genius, give yourself the gift of more rest. Remember now, this show, I know you can finish the sentence. It's not a monologue. No, it's not. It's not a performance. It's not a shtick. It's not stand-up comedy. It's not stand-up inspiration only. This is a dialogue. This is a relationship. Can you feel it? I can feel it. Can you feel it? Every time I come to you, I feel the relationship. I feel the love. I know that I'm talking through the camera. I'm not talking to the camera. I'm talking through the camera so that I can connect with your heart. I'd love to hear from you. The way you came to this particular episode and you wanted to hear from me, I want to hear from you too. That's what relationships are about. So what was the biggest lesson for you? What was the aha around accessing more creativity? What was the big aha about giving yourself permission for more rest? I want you to leave a comment below. And be sure, if you haven't already done so, subscribe and go get a friend or 2 or 10 or 20 and let them know that there's a place that we can all gather and keep it real, where the truth is served straight, no chaser. And look out for more awesome, authentic content in the future. This is your home, and we're your tribe. And I will always be your sister in prosperity and in possibility. And every single time I say, I believe in you and I love you, it's simply because I do. I can't wait to see you real soon.